that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one.
Traveler. Okay.
All right, guys. Today we've got a classic sovereign citizen moment in court, but with a twist. This time, the guy actually asked for an attorney. Progress? Maybe. But don't get too excited, because he's still fully committed to that sovereign citizen mindset. He was pulled over for driving without a license, had a fake plate that literally just said traveler, and, of course, resisted arrest. Because what's a sovereign citizen case without some unnecessary drama? What really caught my attention, though, is the courtroom dynamic with his attorney. It's odd. There's this weird, overly touchy energy between them that just doesn't feel right. Maybe it's just me, so let me know what you think about it. All right, let's jump in. This one's definitely entertaining.
She and I have already discussed it on this case, and we just both want you to hear the PC, if we can, Judge.
Okay.
And then on the bond reinstatement as well, Judge. Right.
So officers initiated a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas for a vehicle having a fictitious plate bearing the word traveler on it. During the stop, the defendant refused to provide...
Traveler. Okay.
During the stop, the defendant refused to provide ID or insurance information, stating, "I do not consent to this." Officer attempted to remove the defendant from the vehicle, and defendant actively resisted by pulling his arm away from deputies until he was detained.
Okay. Tell me what.
So we looked at, I'm sorry, Madam Prosecutor, the interference with duties of public servant, Your Honor. Even if my client is failing to give them that, then it is an arrestable offense. But in this situation, it is, Judge. However, in this particular situation, he didn't interfere with anything in terms of his own arrest. I can, if it was a resisting or something to that effect, I can.
They're just trying to get him out of the car.
I don't disagree.
It's classic sovereign case where got the license plate, think that traveling by right is what I think how they term it.
In this situation, Judge, and the reason I'm employing upon the court is, even from what Madam Prosecutor has seen on the video, they're pulling and tugging at his arm, which put my client in some fear. It was more than one officer. It was pretty.
But he still has a duty. If they're asking you to come out, they can lawfully do that. And there are videos, and go on YouTube, right? There are hundreds of videos where officers will literally destroy your car to get you out. When you get into a pissing match with a person who has the power of arrest, who's going to win, Mr. Daly?
We don't disagree, Your Honor.
Right. You know what I mean? That's real life.
We don't disagree, Your Honor. I think under the circumstances of what actually happened, it was not Mr. Daly's position to resist or to interfere. That was not. He was concerned for his safety at that point. And actually, I don't know, did you hear that on the video? Right. And so in reviewing the video, it was pretty quick, pretty brash. They didn't give him an opportunity to respond per the prosecutor. In this situation, it wasn't as if he was intentionally.
Remember, this is just a mere probable cause.
Yes,
so
I agree.
They ask you to come out of the car one time. Yeah, it's really that's. So, I think that there's enough probable cause to go forward now. The problem is, Mr. Daly, is that we revoke your bond. Your bond is set at 2501, and you've continually failed to appear. So, the case and the way that you've treated us, it shows me that you just refuse to accept authority. How are we supposed to deal with that? How do we deal with that, Timberl?
Your Honor, the only reason I bring to your attention is I asked the court to take into consideration. We have a Black male works every day who, and I hate to put that on the court, but I do in this particular climate, that has never been in contact with any particular law enforcement court system. And from what I can see and what I hear out here from a lot of my Black male, and I'm sure it's common knowledge, is that because they are unfamiliar with the court system, they don't know, number one. Number two, when they do come in contact with police, and my mother is assistant chief of police, so I can understand, even when I was younger, I was taught that there are certain things that you have to do with when a police officer even stop you on a speeding ticket. What we don't know is whenever these officers come up, when you're somebody who don't have the privilege of having a police officer as a parent, or who isn't familiar and is being raised in this particular climate and seeing what they see on TV and seeing what they hear and everything that has occurred, you don't know what the proper steps are. I was trained from when I was grown up what you do. I'm not saying that what he did was right or wrong. I'm not saying that how he reacted to this particular court, it is wrong. However, I'm employing upon the court to ask the court to take into a little bit of consideration, number one, from his perspective.
From his perspective, are you serious right now? His attorney is seriously pulling the race card. And believe it or not, that's not even the craziest part of what she's doing. I mean, aside from that, she's basically smothering this sovereign citizen guy like it's her full-time job. It's wild. I don't know if she's his mom or what, but I've never seen anything like this. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen a lawyer this all in on their client, like borderline helicopter parent levels of involvement. It's actually kind of bizarre. And how do you even argue that the cops didn't have probable cause when they told the guy to get out of the car? Newsflash. If the police give you a lawful order, especially with a reason, you get out. Period. This guy literally had a license plate that said traveler. That alone should tell you what kind of stuff we're dealing with here. Sovereign citizens always have, let's call them, unique views on the law. But come on, not even the judge is going to entertain this kind of defense. Especially when it's judged fair. That guy does not hand out freebies, and I don't see him making any exceptions for someone who skipped court like he's above the law. That's basically what this guy's doing, acting like none of this ever happened, and now suddenly pulling the race card like that's going to fix it all? There's no way this guy's winning. But real question, what do you think about this attorney? Is she actually his lawyer, or is this just his mom in a suit? Because the way she's acting is just next level strange. Let's dive back in.
All defendants, can't just say this, but I do see that, from what I've known from this particular case and now in talking to him, I do believe that there is a sense of sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes they just don't. So I'm asking to reinstate his PR bond. I am now on the case. What you know about me, I'm a tight attorney. I run a tight ship. So, and by which of way I believe I can reach him and getting him to court and resolving this matter, which is what I talked to the prosecutor about when you were on break. It's like, let's just resolve this. Let's take care of this.
I'll buy it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not going to do this again, though. I promise you. I don't care whoever you have. If you flake on us again, that's 3 times. It's out. I'm not going to do it again. Do you understand, Mr. Daly? I mean, when you come to court, good things happen. When you don't show up and you continually do it, you can't expect good things to happen. Now, do you have a Texas driver's license?
Not right now.
You're not allowed to drive.
Right.
You have a bond condition and you've signed an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care how you term it. Driving, traveling, however you're going to word it, whatever you do not get into the driver's seat of an automobile, a motorcycle, anything with a combustible engine where you can get on the road unless you have approval from us. Do you understand? I don't care that you have to work. I don't care if you have to go to church. I don't care if you're going to a funeral. I don't care if you're going to wherever it may be. Do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You're not going to get another one. Okay, Timberlane, I'll reinstate the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'll talk to her. We were going to try to talk to Chief, but it's pretty busy today.
I think the case is only 3 months old,
Yes,
so you've got time. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court now, but you must stay in touch with her and she'll tell you when you got to come back to court. If she comes back and tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games or you've gone AWOL or whatnot, or you get arrested for something else, all bets off. We good? I'm not asking for much, man. Really. And for future reference, when you get into a pissing match with someone with the power of arrest, you are nearly always going to lose. It's just the way it works. And as a young Black man in today's society, you got to be extra special careful because things can go really wrong really quick. And there's evidence of that over and over and over.
Wow, this might be a hot take, but I've got to say, I'm really disappointed Judge Flair didn't come down harder in this case. I'm not saying we need to go full law and order on every sovereign citizen, but come on, this guy literally skipped court, resisted arrest like his life depended on it, and was driving around with a license plate that looked like it was made in Microsoft Paint. In most situations, failing to appear in court can land you extra charges, or even a contempt warrant. And resisting arrest? That's a whole other offense that typically stacks right on top of whatever else you're facing. This honestly seemed like a perfect opportunity for a harsher sentence, but instead it felt like a slap on the wrist. I'd love to hear what you guys think, but from my perspective, it was a missed opportunity for real accountability. And don't even get me started on that attorney. What was going on there? I've never seen her before, and maybe she's respected in her field, but that was one of the strangest courtroom dynamics I've ever witnessed. The way she completely dominated the hearing and spoke for the defendant like he wasn't even there? Super unprofessional in my opinion. I know this happened in Texas. Maybe things run differently down there? If anyone from Texas is watching, let me know if this is normal. Also, I couldn't believe she pulled the race card in this situation. I'm not trying to stir the pot here, and I'm certainly not racist, but I just don't think it was appropriate at all. This guy was out here with a traveler license plate, making bizarre legal arguments, and the race angle just didn't seem relevant. That part honestly felt like a stretch. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Watching this guy operate is seriously making me lose brain cells. But if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on that attorney. That's really the main thing I want to hear from you all about. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone.